Hello, we are Stretch on Sense, Albin and Martin. Today we will talk about sport analytics, present our cloud platform, and discuss how the platform can add value for partners and sport teams by packing all the great systems into one specific cloud platform. Our vision is to create a greater value for all stakeholders and take the sport analytics business to the next level. By involving more people into this fantastic sport, ice hockey, we can all together take the sport to the next level. Having that said, let's jump into the platform. We start with the overview page of Team Stretch. All the figures for Team Stretch are made up and are demo data. On the main page, you have an overview of how you practice, how you play, and how you feel. Call it soft matrix. Not everyone will see all of these dashboards. The GM and the head coach will probably see the most, but for example, the forward coach will only see the KPIs related to the forwards. And the goalie coach will only have visibility for the KPIs related to the goalies. This because everyone should focus on their specific KPIs and areas. So, let us go into Team Offensive. Here we find all the KPIs for Team Stretch and what they will work on during the season. The teams have their own KPIs and they can remove, add and change during the seasons. As you can see, some of the KPIs are green lighted and some of them are red lighted. It shows which KPIs that are in order and which are not in order. As an example, we can look at the KPI shots on goal per game. On the y-axis, we can see shots on goal per game. And in this case, the Team Stretch has 22 as a KPI goal. On the x-axis, we can see the games played and the coming ones. The red dots are points per game. So in this case, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, 0 point. Everything you see, you can also press on and get into more details. You can also filter and choose a couple of games to build analysis on. So for example, let's take this one, and this one. Here we can deep dive into the games and find out what we did good and less good, and if we reached the KPI goal. If we go back, we can see here on every dashboard page, you can press jump to source data. It will take you to the underlying platform that, for example, shows video clips. By pressing jump to source data, we will move in to one of our partners, SportLogic. Now we want to analyze Team Stretch power play and the KPI one-timers called Stamkos style. The KPI goal is 2 per power play. The number is green lighted, meaning that Team Stretch is above the goal and is currently doing 3.33 one-timers per power play. This creates an overview of the power play and what the team should focus on. In this case, the one-timers are not the problem. Instead, the team should focus on, for example, PP shots on goal, analyze them, take it into practice, and do better. You can also press on the KPI Stamkos style, and you will get into kind of the same graph as we saw before. We have shown you a few examples and KPIs for the whole team. We will now show you detailed information based on the forwards KPIs and what the forwards and the forward coach should focus on during the season. Here we have added a few examples as Corsi, shot attempts, entries, etc. Every team shows their own KPIs for forwards and what they would like to measure and build their analysis on. If we jump into shot attempts, we have total shot attempts per forward on the left-hand side. We can see that CA has by far the most shots per game, missed, blocked and successful. Looking at the right hand side, we have shots attempts per time on ice. Suppose we take ER as an example. He's far down the list on the left hand side, but he's on the third place when it comes to time on ice. What we also can do is that we can compare the players against each other. So take ER, CA, and EM, for example. Then we can drill them down and actually compare them to each other. But going back to the ER example, we can see when ER is on the ice, he always creates a goal opportunity. And with this graph, both the forward coach and ER can argue, based on stats, that he should play more than he actually does. To win games or the championships, all the teams need a great goalie. So let's jump into the dashboard built for the goalies and the goalie coach. To get a good overview of the saving percent, we will show you the goalie zone. In this example, we show Hasek and Lundqvist, and all the data is, of course, demo data. At the bottom of the page, you can see the total saving percent. Closer to the goal, we have the slots saving percent, and after that, the inner slot. Lundqvist has a higher presence in all areas, and based on the statistics, he should be the number one goalie. We can also go up here and look at the penalty killing. Then we will see another saving percent at Lundqvist that he had on when they were equal. 74 equal, and now in the inner slot he has 72.73 when it's a penalty killing. This creates a great overview for the goalie coach and the goalie to see what they are doing good and what they can improve, but also which goalie should be the number one goalie. To perform well on the ice, the players of course need to be well trained, but they also need to train correctly in the gym or on the running track, but also have a detailed knowledge on every training session. How did it go? Did we reach the expected level? What did we do good? And what can we do better? But also, if any players has an overload, and should be careful so no injuries appear. That could be a very critical factor during the season. Having that said, let's jump into the physio practice dashboard. Here we also can choose the date of the training, so let's go for that one. So here we see all the different sections during the training session. On the right hand side here we have the total, all the players together, and below we have per specific player. So let's choose a section during the training session. So let's go for 3 against 3 in the middle zone. And here we can see that it's on the yellow or close to green, which means that they were on a good level. Looking at the per player, they were on the green line, which was good, but some of them could actually push a little bit more. If they were on the red line or in the red area, as we can see here, they should be taken a little bit more careful, so no injuries or an overload gets to the player. So, we have now walked you through the game-related KPIs and the different graphs for analysis, but also showed you a little bit of a sneak peek of the physical dashboard. As you know, ice hockey is not all about physicals. You must feel good to play good. If you're struggling in your private life, you most likely play on a lower level. On the cloud platform, you will be able to analyze on the player's mental health, called Soft Matrix. These dashboards are built mainly for the mental coach and to keep all the players in a good mental health during the whole season. The players and the coaches can make comment and rate every game and practice. They can set a common rate for everyone, but also per player. They can add wording so they can have that for the one-on-ones and the follow-ups. This creates a high transparency and opens up a dialogue between the coaches, the players, and the general managers. As with this dashboard, every team shows the visibility and what can be seen. For example, the mental health and soft metrics are only for 1 to 2 in the organization. And for example, the goalie coach can only see the team overview and the goalie KPIs. And this is of course because everyone should focus on their specific area and what they actually can improve. This leads us into the last example dashboard, the player page. We have gathered all the KPIs on the specific player on this dashboard. What goal does the player have, and how does the player perform related to the personal plan, but also against the team goals. All the information per player is saved on this page, and both the coaching team and the player can validate the performance. So let's jump into player number 9. Here we can see player number 9's all the KPIs that he or she should focus on. We can also jump into the practice analysis and the physio dashboards. We see average time on ice, but we see also here that player number 9 should focus on hits, but also the offensive ones. If we compare that to another player, that player should focus on maybe something else as face-offs or likewise. We would like to give you a short summary. With the Stretch on Sense cloud platform, you will get key sports matrix of your choice, one platform and one source for all of your data, detailed end-to-end insights in how you play, practice, and your well-being, constantly tracked against your specific goals. Data delivered in an easy way and with a user-friendly layout. Spend time analyzing on how to be better instead of finding data in many different systems and files. The cloud platform can be used on a desktop, mobile, or tablet. This means that the players and the coaches can do the analysis on the road when traveling. You only need the internet to connect to this cloud platform. Everything is saved on one platform, and everyone is working in the same system. So many thanks for listening, and that we got the opportunity to show you some examples from the cloud platform. We are now ready to deep dive into your questions. Thank you so much.
Interesting platform. Albin, are you there with me?
Hello, thank you.
How are
Thank you
you?
so much. All good, thanks. All good, thanks.
Good. Thanks for the presentation.
Thank you.
Who are your customers? Which teams do you want to work with? When you say elite clubs, do you mean the SHL? Do you mean the All-Swedish League? Do you mean their junior programs? I see this as an individual development plan for a lot of the players and finding ways to help kids that at a very lower age or at a earlier age. Which players do you want to get to, and what teams do you want to work with?
Yeah, so we first of all would like to, of course, work with SLG, the Swedish top league, but also, of course, the leagues under there. But also, we're talking about the youth teams, so G18 and G20, but also the younger players, of course. But mainly now focusing to work with the top leagues around Europe and in Sweden and Europe, of course.
An interesting thing that you guys have said that you're doing is that you're the coaching staff, so the goalie coach can see the goalies and then have you on other things. The defensive coach can work with the defenseman, and the forwards coach. You say that people should focus on what they can deal with or what they can influence, and not worry about what other people doing. At a pro level, shouldn't we be at a level where we could let everyone see to learn from each other, or is that something that you feel really, really strong about?
No, but I mean, I think that's more of to help the organization and to help the whole ice hockey club. So the GM, for example, or the head coach will, of course, be able to see everything in the platform. But the forward coach should focus on what forwards do good and what they can improve. They don't really need to, of course, they need to have an overview of the whole team and the defensemen, but they should be focusing on the areas to to find this dialogue and talk together, of course, but focusing more on their primarily area to develop and do better, of course. So yes, I strongly believe that everyone should have their overview, but in some pieces you should go in with the forwards only have the visibility in their area. Yes.
When I see what you guys are doing, I see individual development plans and communicating and putting up, you say co-PEs, in other words, key performance indicators, things that are very, very important to be successful, which is something that's been a part of Swedish Hockey, but you put it down in a computer program that works together. So it's an interesting way to go. What do coaches say to you guys? Do they love the program? Do they think it's easy to use? Is it easy to reach their players? Tell me a little about the feedback that you guys have gotten.
Yeah. So first of all, one of the goals we have and the vision we have is to take from all these great systems that we see today. We want to make it easy for everyone and everyone to have an understanding to what we would like to go and where we are, how can we improve, and how can we reach the main goal. And the feedback we receive from the market and from the coaches is that we go down with detailed numbers into more in an easy way. And I think it was in the panel with Erik Widerud in Färjestad, who talked about a little bit about colors and then also combine them with numbers. And that's pretty what we do as well. So we want to take this fantastic data, but want to make it easy to analyze and actually take it from there and win the games. That's the main goal, of course.
So what I understand is you have a partnership or some kind of collaboration with different companies, and then use their platforms in different ways. Sports Logic, for one, I think you mentioned in the presentation, that you can use some of their situations to make it easier. So you're the filter that the coach or that the analysts were talking about. They all talked about a filter trying to go from the actual data to talking to players. They need to be a filter in between. And that's what you are. Is that a fair way of putting it?
Yeah, I would say it's fair to put in like that as well. And we want to be that consultant as well to help the analytics, but also the coach team, but also, of course, involve the players and take this to build up this dialogue and also have a higher transparency between the coaching teams and the GM, but also involve the players, because the players are giving so much data to the analytics and to the coaches, but they also would like to have receiving information back, and we would like to help the teams to actually have that bridge between the coaching team and the players, I would say.
Now, obviously, a long-term relationship to be able to do it, and then have the data from the year before or the KPIs that they look, and then to analyze them, and then to take the next step for the next season, and so on. That's obviously a dream for doing this. The manpower, do you have to be on site with coaches from your company, or is it easy enough to do? If I were a head coach of a team that I have your product, I have that, and I can do it. Can I do it by myself, or do I need consultancy help?
Yeah, so the cloud platform is a plug and play service. So what we do, we have a standard, but of course, when we talk to all the different elite clubs and the teams, you can always customize and choose your own KPIs, because as also the other companies have talked about, I mean, that's our 100,000 data points, and of course, everyone is looking at different points and KPIs. So what we do there is that we are helping them, and of course do this standard cloud platform more as a custom made as well for the teams, and that is something we do. So we are helping them to set that up. So the teams don't need to have an IT expert. We are the IT experts, if I put it like that. So yeah.
Now, are you strictly in Sweden, or are you in other countries?
So we are based in Stockholm, Sweden. We have our headquarters here in Stockholm, Sweden, but we are operating in the whole world. So Europe and
well.
Global, yeah. So Europe. We have the office in Stockholm, but we are targeting everything in the entire world.
Yeah, this is something I could see that North American coaches would have a lot of help with. Sweden is very good with a lot of these things, but North American coaches, if you could get their time and get them to listen, it would be a great product for them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell me, a year from now, what have you improved? So we are what we showed with the product just now. 1 year from now, what's changed?
So what I think and what we also are really proud of is our own product that we call the Stretch Click Right Base. And that's the product we have built for the mental coaches and to do analysis on the players' mental health. And I think that's something we're gonna see in coming 12 years, that we're gonna take it to the next level. And also with all these fantastic system be a part of taking the ice hockey to the next level, I would say. But hopefully we can come back next year and give you a 2.0 platform on the mental health, I would say.
Thank you, Albin. Thank you for being part of this.
Thank you so much.